Hey mates, Blind Prime here with a new Blindformers episode. I hope that you're excited for this episode because I'm excited for this episode. I spent all weekend learning these transformations so I could bring them to you. And today we're going to cover the first of the transformations, Transformers, Legacy United, Age of the Primes, Haslab Omega Prime, Haslab Ultra Magnus from Robots in Disguise 2001. I don't know how to do that name. That name is just insane. Is it Legacy United or is it Age of the Primes? I mean, it came out during Age of the Primes, so I'm gonna really call it Age of the Primes. I think that's my final decision on it because we're in the Age of the Primes era, and I just knocked something off of it. So you know what? We can begin by pulling things off of it. Yeah, we always pull things off at the beginning, right? So, if you're wondering what you found here, you found Blind Prime. I am a person that raises awareness of the blind and the visually impaired through alternative means and methods, and this is including to but not limited to teaching you how to transform Robots in Disguise 2001 Haslab Ultra Magnus from vehicle mode to robot mode. So, if you like what you see here and you want to help me raise awareness for the blind and the visually impaired out there, and you want to help me reach more blind and visually impaired people out there, then please hit the like button, share, subscribe, give me a comment and tell me what your initial thoughts and feelings are about this Transformers transformation, because I'd like to know. And also in the comments below, let me know if I screwed something up, because I've figured all this out without looking at any instruction manual. So if I'm missing something, please inform me. I promise to not get upset. I promise to shower you with praise for informing me whenever I've made a mistake, because by you informing me I've made a mistake, I can inform other blind people that I made a mistake here, and this is how you correctly do it. That is something that I really take prerogative in on this channel, is ensuring that the transformation videos at least are as good as they possibly can be. And sometimes that means I need help from you, my sighted audience. You, my blind audience, no, just sit back and relax. You know, the sighted people are going to help you out, or at least this blind person and some sighted people are going to help you out. So, with that all being said, I'm Blind Prime once again. Kream the cat is not on the table today. He's in the room, but he's not on the table. I don't know what's going on with him. All right, let's get into this transformation. This guy is fun. I will state that off the bat, but he's also kind of interesting. He's got some weird aspects to him, stuff that I haven't really seen before, and things that did definitely surprise me whenever I was doing this transformation for the first time. So we need to keep those things in mind. So let's get into this transformation. First off, what I like to do first when transforming him is I take this back ramp on top of him, and I'm going to fold the back ramp. Oh, hey, don't you unfold yourself from this morning thing. Just fold all the way down. There you go. Yeah, perfect flat fold all the way across. Lines up with the two little things over here. Let's make sure they... Hey, guys, there you go. You can kind of thread them into... There's these little lips that stop cars from rolling off the front of the vehicle mode. The back ramp actually sets against those lips, and those lips hold it in place. So that's the other purpose of them, in addition to stopping Sideburn from flying off the top of Ultra Magnus. Okay, next step is we're going to come back here to the rear, and we're going to unattach the ramp pieces from their little mooring tabs. These two little things that look like signs that fold across. And we're just going to untap each of them. Now these two pieces that have the 5mm pegs on them are each going to rotate around. And you're going to rotate one counterclockwise, and the other one is rotated clockwise. So the left one is counterclockwise, the right one is clockwise, and they're just going to kind of level out on the side. There's even some, it even kind of feels like they peg in when you push them against the side. It's a soft kind of feeling, but it still works. All right, now comes the part. First off, we got to come over here to this side. There's Kream, and we got to kind of pick this area up. So this is something that I have found is actually a little easier when we come around here to the side and we untab each of these. So this is very similar to the transformation for Siege Ultra Magnus, where you had to come around here to the front and untab the trailer panel that was connected to the vehicle. So we're going to spin it around over here, feel down the length of the trailer, come to the very end, closest to the front of the vehicle, and put your thumb underneath the edge of that trailer and pull. And you may have to pull in a couple of different places. because it's a really tight connection. It uses 2 siege pegs to plug into 2 siege ports on his arm in there. So that's a sturdy transformation part. It may take a little effort to unplug it, but just put your thumb underneath the edge and then keep going down that edge and pulling. You don't want to pull constantly at one spot. You may damage your toy. So you want to come down here, and as you're pulling against it, keep lowering your thumb and giving it pressure, and that will be an even distribution of pressure down the length, and that should disconnect everything without damaging the plastic. And that's what we're trying to do here at Blind Prime, teach you how to transform your transformer and not break it. Those are important things to do. So these things don't really peg in. These little flaps we just unpegged, they're just gonna sit back there. Next step is we're gonna come over here to this big old honking thing that's hanging out, that the ramp, the upper story of the car carrier is all attached to. And this piece is going to get pulled up and around. We're gonna come into here underneath it, and we can feel that there's some stuff in here. We just gotta kind of get it to unmoor itself. Right. Okay, so down here on the side, I almost forgot a very important step. There's a locking pin. So find that spot where we just unplugged the panel from the arms. So this little panel, fold it back down, okay? We take right beside it, there's this rectangle thing that's sticking out. Yeah, it feels like it may be a rear view mirror, just really far back there. That's actually a lock, and you unlock it by pulling it towards the front of the vehicle. So we're going to come around here to the other side. We're going to find that little square thing right next to this arm that's sticking up. You can tell it's an arm because there's a hand there. And you want to go ahead and unlock that. There we go. It's unlocked on both sides now. And now that they're unlocked, they can each get pulled up and out. Now, these pieces are important to pull up and out because this piece up here that I was trying to move earlier will not move until you remove these guys. So we're going to pull each of those guys up. There we go. Each of them is pulled up. Now, this piece, look at that. It can just move. And when we pick it all the way up, let's go ahead and continue pulling these 2 tabby things that are actually vents for the front area up. Now, we're just going to keep lowering, pulling this across and down. And it should just kind of rest up here. I'm just going to pull these little pieces all the way up. They're going to actually cover the ends of this. So the end on this big platform that the top car area is attached to, one side has these things that feel like jetpacks, and the other side just has this rectangle area. And these pieces that we untabbed are actually going to fold above that rectangle area to give it a cool venti look, and then that edge is going to fold down across it, okay? So we're going to do that same step with the other side. We're going to make sure that piece is folded up, and then that edge is folded down across it. This will change. These actually will get a little closer together as we transform, because eventually this little thing that we folded will actually go on this little tab sticking out the side of it, right below the fold. But don't freak out if it's not working right now. It will eventually. Kream, I'm doing a video. All right. Now that you got all that stuff set up, go ahead and fold all that up forwards. Now that everything is folded forwards, we are left with this trailer that you can feel everything inside of, and it is a big trailer, without a doubt. Now, this is the part of the transformation I am going to be very specific on because I want to make sure you don't break it, and this part scares me. This is my least favorite aspect of the transformation, what we are about to do. So we come down here to the side of him. You see these double wheels right behind his front wheel. These double wheels are attached to the trailer with a slide. It's this little thin piece that slides up into the wheels. So we've just got to kind of figure out how to unslide that piece. And it's a tight connection, so it doesn't like to unslide. But how you do this is you grab the trailer in one hand, so it doesn't exert too much pressure, and then you grab the wheel in the other hand, and you pull the wheel down towards the ground, and it should unattach itself from the trailer. Now, we're going to be careful when we spin it around, so we can do the other side, because this is a very... I don't understand this connection port. I really don't. I wish there was more connections so that everything wasn't left on these wheels, and these wheels are not the strongest things in the world. And it worries me that these wheels can break if you're not careful about removing this little slide right there. So we're just going to slide that out. And now that we've slid it out of both sides, you're left with this kind of truck cap with these wheels hanging out behind it. Now, before we get any further, I'll explain what we did here. So there is a little bitty edge sticking up on the very end of this wheel. I'll fold this one up to make sure that the other one is as visible as possible. And that little bitty edge actually slides into a little bitty cut in the side of this foot pad. See, this trailer end has these two little foot pads coming out of it. And if you take your thumb or your fingernail and you feel really close to the edge of the trailer, like you take from the toe of the foot and you drag your finger all the way down to the end, you'll find there's this deep channel cut in there. And it's hard plastic, and it's rigid, and it's a little sharp. Hi, Kream. Yeah. I'm explaining an important step in the transformation, buddy. So, that piece is very important that you make sure you attach that and unattach that carefully. Because you don't want to break your wheel. So we'll explain how to reattach that real quick so you get an idea of what's going on here. So we'll fold this little wheel down. Now what we're going to do is we're going to bring this wheel in, and we're going to line up down over there and there. So it's attached. It is that easy to attach it. You just bring the end of this wheel, so I'm going to try and keep my fingers away from it, and you kind of marry the end of this wheel well to the end of the trailer, and then you just kind of slide. You find the little groove, and you slide up into it, and there you go. This is definitely one of those transformation techniques that it's better if you're blind, because sighted people have a tendency to need to see things in order to do things. But us blind people, we don't need to see it to do it. So we don't need to actually flip this thing upside down and stare at that connection point while we're adding connections to it. We can just do it. And so there's your superpower right there, blind people. And that is how you disconnect the trailer and reattach the trailer. It's very simple, but these wheels, look at this, these wheels bend. They bend very easily. That's why I'm mentioning that. Now, they made it a point to make this wheel out of some plastic that could handle stresses like bending and reattaching and stuff. But I do wish that they had chosen kind of a thicker wheel or something. I'm wondering why they made that decision. And, Evan, if you're watching this, let people know in the comments below, please. Why did you make this decision? Because that is an interesting decision to make. Or did somebody in your team make that decision? I would like to know why that piece. Okay, so that's enough on talking about that. Let's set the cab off to the side for now, as we have to transform the feet first. I like to transform the feet first, so the cab's going to go off to the side. Now we're going to take this trailer thing we just finished, disassembling, and we're going to disassemble it further. We're going to pull the edges down. We're going to make it big and wide. Like, I'm surprised this didn't have some sort of base mode because of how big and wide everything can get. Now, we're just going to pull them apart. Yeah. You find the sturdiest spot of the thing around the back wheels of the trailer, and you can pull it apart from there very easily. And now you have two trailer parts. Yeah. Split right down the middle. Now, let's go ahead and get us a leg. So first off, what you want to do is, I find that, this piece right here, this toe thing that we talked about where it attaches to the wheels, this actually needs to be extended. You need to pull that out, but it will never pull out right now. It just doesn't like to. So we've got to play with it. So first off, what you want to do is fold up these sections of these sections of the vehicle car transport, the wall sections. You just want to fold those up. We'll unfold them later for this transformation, but I find it's easier to fold them up just to get them out of the way, because they can get in the way. Now, next step is go ahead and break the connection with this foot and this and the trailer section. So if you feel on the underside of the trailer, there's a hinge, and then there's this little mechanism attached to this foot, and we need to, there it goes. Okay, so first step is first. Okay, so I'll redo it for you to watch. Pull the side up. So there's this little side skirt that hangs down. That gets pulled up, and then this foot gets pulled down. Now it's going to stretch out on its little hinge, and this is going to give us enough leverage to grab the toe and, come on. There it goes. Okay, so it's a little stiff, It's a little stiff, but definitely not as stiff as the engineering prototype that we watched Evan use on that video we watched months ago. So the foot slides up on a little slider, it locks in place, and then you fold it down, and then you slide it back. There you go. That's how you make the foot for Ultra Magnus. Yeah, it's kind of a nice foot. It's a wonderful foot. It's definitely an interesting foot because you think that this long bit is actually the toes, but this long bit is actually the heel, and this little short bit is the toes. So we're going to make toes on that side. We're going to then, I forgot I was only working on one leg for a second there. We're going to come around here to the back end. You find at the top of it near the, we're actually, yeah, so that was the bottom. At the top near the wheels, we've got this thing hanging out in here. It's big, it's bulky, it's made of some durable plastics, and it's on a ratchet. So we're going to pick that thing up all the way, and that's actually going to be the thigh for Ultra Magnus. The thigh and his groin. This thing that feels like a stupid foot is actually the groin. And we need to make sure we get this correct. So let's feel around here, find all the connections. Connections found. That's going to go up. And yeah, that's how it's done. If you feel up here, you'll find that in this little thigh section, there's a little cut. And that cut is important for robot mode. And then on the side, you've got these two little locking pins. Little rectangle pins real close to each other. That's going to be important for attaching it to the other foot. So we're done with the thigh. That's how you do the thigh. Next step is we're going to fold the ramp is going to become his knee guard, and that's going to get folded down and should attach right there. Yeah. Kream headed off. All right. And it's on a double hinge. So when you're doing ramp stuff with it, it uses one hinge and it goes up and down. But whenever we're doing this part, we've got to pick it up and then pick it up again to make sure that double hinge has been picked up. And then it folds down. It will have enough clearance for this little rectangular slit at the tip of the toe to fit into a little hole at the very a little hole at the correct spot. I lost the word for that. Next step is fold the little, this little thing we unfolded, the little skirt for the bottom of the vehicle, fold that back down where it was before. And now we're going to take this piece here and we're going to unfold it all the way. We're going to take the wall of I-beams and we're going to make sure we unfold it. And it's got a couple of double hinges in there, so make sure everything's flat. There we go. And then you're going to fold it backwards, okay? And then feel around the edge. You'll find that there's a few places where things can plug in, especially down here towards the foot. There's a little peg sticking out the side. If you feel on the inside of your wall section, you'll find a peg hole, and we just have to line those up. There we go. Peg hole lined up with peg. Make sure everything's lined up. Then this little extra bit, because there's an extra bit, that's going to get folded backwards and lock into place. And we're done with one foot. He's got a long leg. I know. We're going to talk about his long legs. He's got legs that go on forever. So there's one of the legs. Let's get the other leg transformed. This one should be faster because I'm not explaining it as much detail. And I'll still verbally describe what I'm doing. So first off, I'm folding up all of the wall sections so they stay out of the way, because that just, I hate them being in the way. It aggravates me. Next step, we're going to disentangle this thing by taking the side skirt and folding it up. There we go. Now that this thing is disconnected, we can pull it down on its little hinge. That gives us enough leverage and ability to pull this foot pad up. There it goes. Foot pad's pulled up. Fold the foot down. Push the foot back in to lock it together to make a nice flat foot, where before the heel was sticking up or the toe was sticking up, depending on the transformation. Yeah, because I like how this foot doubles. It's either the foot for Omega Prime or it's the foot for Ultra Magnus. It all depends on where the toe is, which one are you using as the toe. That's just funny in my opinion. All right, now that you've done that, you've got the toe back in its little mooring. Go ahead and fold this little skirt. Come on, skirt. Fold backwards. There we go. The skirt's going to fold backwards and just rest there. Next step is we're going to fold all of this wall section, and this wall section is going to get folded down so that it's in reverse wall, where it's now like sitting below the place where the vehicles park. And we're going to attach it to all of its little connection ports, fold up that extra panel that was folded downwards, And then come up here to the top. We're going to fold out the thigh section. And if you find out, there is that little cut at the top of it. And instead of 2 rectangular pegs, we get 1 rectangular peg to go between the 2 rectangular pegs. Then make sure you remember that this ramp piece is on a double hinge. Double hinge is a little difficult to get at, but make sure you do the double hinge, and then it will fold down and fit right into its proper spot. And that's how you transform the other leg. Yeah, his legs are done. Just like that. So we're going to set the legs over here to the side next to blue bolts. We'll knock blue bolts over first, because why not? Knocking things over here at Blind_Crime and set those down there. Next step is we're going to come over here and we're going to do a lot because this guy's a mess. I won't lie to you. And it's kind of a mess of a transformation here, but it is a fun one because it's just, I don't know, there's something about it that makes me enjoy it. Now, this is a interesting one because if you go too far, you're going to end up going into Omega Prime territory. So you can't go too far with this. You've got to take it just right. And that means that we don't disconnect everything. We don't go hog wild with this transformation step here. So first step we're going to do is take these little wheels and they're going to rotate upwards and slip into their own little homes in each of the arms. And then each of the arms is just going to kind of fold down. Now we're going to come over here to this one. We're going to fold that arm down and fold that wheel up. There we are. And I like that you get these the double wheels in his forearms. That's always fun when a Transformer does that. It's not something that happens very often, and I really like it when it does. It's just kind of a fun thing in my opinion. Now we're going to fold each of these arms downwards. Here we go. Each of them is just going to kind of fold all the way down on its little hinge. And next step is we're going to come in here and we're going to find the head. There's the head. We're going to unfold the head, and then the head's going to kind of come across. And now, sometimes this head is rotated, and it's all folded up in there, rotated backwards. So you got to unfold it, and then you rotate the head 180 degrees. But you don't rotate the head itself. You rotate the platform on the head, because this platform wiggles up and down, and this head spins. This took me forever to figure out. So I'm making sure we pay attention to that, because I was like, I don't know what to do with this head. It's in the wrong direction. And it took me a while to realize that hinge has a rotation hinge inside of it. And then once I rotated it, I was like, oh, now everything works. So if you feel on the front of this, because this will be the front of the vehicle mode, of the robot mode, feel that little chest area? Okay, run your finger up the chest, over into this big hollow section that is the interior. He's got this big old hollow section. And if you feel on the edge of it, I'll rotate this around. Maybe the camera will catch it, but I doubt it will, because it's just in there. There is a rectangular peg hole, and it matches this rectangular peg sticking out in front of the head on this little head mounting thing. So we're just going to kind of bend that hinge back there just a little bit to lever this piece into place. And line it up, and then you fold that hinge back down, and if you've done it right, which I did not do it right, it's okay, I did it right the second time, you can attach the head to that little section. That didn't work that time either. Come on now. It's got to go a little further up. It is not the easiest part of this transformation. But it's just because I do wish that... There it goes. It's a little short. So you really have to make sure you get it correct. But once you get it in there, it's in there. You just get these huge gaps on either side of his head. I don't know what to do with. I was really hoping there were some flappy doodles or something that we could fold over. But that doesn't really seem to be the case in this instance. There doesn't really seem to be anything we can fold over to make that a little bit better. It's just going to exist as it is. What happened to your wheels? Where are we even at right now? And like I said, this is a transformation that's just kind of wonky, but it's also a lot of fun. So let's come around over here to this other side. Now that we've got kind of the head and the arms, now we need to make the connection point for everything else. So come down here to his cow catcher and untab each side of the cow catcher on the front of the vehicle mode. Then we're going to fold the cow catcher backwards, and we're going to fold the skirt piece that's underneath the cow catcher backwards. So it's going to rest against the cow catcher. And that's important. You've noticed there is a 5mm peg hole in the very tip of this little skirt we unfolded. Not only outside where this armor texture is, but on the inside, where all the hollowness and waffling is. There is a hole. There's a lot of hollowness in this guy. And you want to remember that peg, because that peg is going to be important for your flight stand. Now, we're going to feel up here. So find these big wheels, and then you feel in here. You'll find that now that we've unfolded everything from underneath him, there are these two plastic beams just kind of hanging out. They feel like slides. And now we're going to come back to the legs. But before we do, let's work on this backpack, because it's still kind of it's just kind of wobbling back here, and it needs a little TLC. This backpack needs some TLC, so let's give it a little TLC. Why don't we? Let's go ahead and fold this backpack down, because it doesn't really rotate anywhere. This backpack is heavy and it is wild. Let's go ahead and make sure those pieces are right. That piece is right there. Come on, get up there. Yeah, that's been the problem. These guys are not listening to me today. But it's supposed to lock in some point back here. We just need to get these stupid pieces to just... Oh, wait. I was doing a blind people problem there. There we go. I had it backwards. Let's put those pieces down there. That allows everything to lock in place now. Now, for Ultra Magnus mode, these jetpack things will be sticking up. And these two pad things that we unlocked and moved around, they'll be down here at the bottom. Now that everything's together, that pad should lock into this side, but it doesn't always. And I don't even know why that's kind of there, because it doesn't really need to lock in at all. His backpack is complete now. We have folded everything down. These things, you can actually separate the ramps now. So we're just going to separate the ramps a little bit. There we go. And then there's this little mooring bit on the end, which we've got to work with. This is a part I don't want to do too much because I'm worried about breaking it up here. So we're just going to kind of slide that apart. There we go. Ah, there it is. All right. And now that these guys are slid out, they should, doesn't mean they will, kind of work together. I guess, yeah. So they're just going to kind of hang out on either side and act as little winglets. They're winglets. Okay, we've done it. Upper body transformed, lower body about to be transformed. So let's go ahead and connect the two leg sections together. Come over here to the legs and put the thigh sections together. Marry these two parts. There we go. Come on now. Come on now. Get in there. Go to where you belong. Come on, you silly thing. There it goes. No, connect. Thank you. He doesn't like connecting there. But legs done. Upper body done. Now we do the electric slide. Pardon me. Let's see. Make sure we get this all correct. There it is. Okay, cool. I'm just making sure I don't screw something up by not noticing something. So this part is a bit on the weird side. Because of all the stuff on his back, it's hard to really get in there. So I find it's best to raise up this stupid backpack of his and reach your hand underneath the backpack so that you can get good leverage to slide him forwards on these little moorings. Nuts. It doesn't always work, and it can be a bit of a pain. Let's just take your arm here and raise your arm up over there. Raise that arm up over there. Okay, now we're going to come back in here and we'll slide you into your home. If you line everything up correctly. Come on, line it up, line it up, line it up, line it up. Line it up. Why aren't you lining up? Nuts. Let's try a different way. Yeah, I said this is the most difficult part of this transformation. It's not really the part that you need to watch out for because it's pretty simple. It's just maybe if we put his back on the ground and we drag his legs over to him, we can kind of slide these in. There it goes. There we are. We slid them in place. We had to do it that way. Now he can stand up on his own 2 feet. And I just knocked myself in the jaw. Let's fix that. maybe these wing components shouldn't have been disconnected from each other. Let's just put them back together. Let's just put these wings back together. There we go. The wings are back together. Let's scrunch all that down. It's all scrunched? Good. It's all scrunchified. Now, let's kick your leg out there. Kick this leg out there. There we go. And there he is. He stands okay, too. He stands all right. I appreciate that he has hinges in his knees. But there we go. Lower the arms down and rotate them around, of course, so that he can, grab things with his hands. All right, and there's that one. And then rotate this arm around. And there's that one. And I'm pretty sure this is complete. I am pretty sure that this is how he transforms. I don't know why there's huge gaps up there around his head. Maybe there's something I missed in the transformation. Let me know, because that was one of the things I was curious about. Like, did I miss something? Is there a reason why he's got these huge gaps on either side? But other than that, this is a, you know what? I won't give this an S-ranked transformation, but it is a very unique transformation. Yeah, no, this isn't. Really thinking about it, I am going to give it S-ranked, because you did a lot. You did some cool stuff, and we got to this mode. There was not any. Yeah. Final decision, S-ranked on the transformation. I like it. Okay, I found myself transforming him a few times for fun. There's just parts you have to watch out for, like the wheels and disconnecting the trailer, and make sure you're careful about that. But otherwise, this is a very fun transformer. It's a fun one to transform, and I like a lot about him. Well, we will talk about my likes and dislikes about the robot mode in tomorrow's video. But as transformations go, decent transformation. There's just some spots you need to watch out for. But overall, very good. And I am very satisfied with this. I am more satisfied with this transformation than I was with Death Source's transformation or Victory Saber's transformation. Both of those I found were just too simple and too easy. They were like baby's first transformer. So I'm happy that we got something that is appropriate for the price. Okay, if I pay that much for a transformer, I want a transformer that is a complicated transformation. I want a transformation that's fun to do. I want a transformation that's intuitive. And this guy I figured out. It took me a while, but intuitiveness goes, he's not really the best. It was a lot of trial and error to figure this out. There's some transformers out there that I just get. And this guy took me 2 days to get. Because I overcomplicate things whenever I don't have any help on it. I think, and then I overthink it. So it took me not overthinking it. And once I stopped overthinking it, it was easy to transform. Still, these thighs are so short compared to these legs. He's got the legs that just go on forever. You do a little camera down here, and you do that kind of bottom up image. He's just going to have these legs that just go on and on and on. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope that you've enjoyed the episode. I hope this helped you understand the transformation. Plenty of people have been talking about this transformation, but it's been difficult for me as a blind person to understand what they're talking about, because they will just point to things. And, well, that's why I'm here. I don't just point to things. I point to something and then explain it in detail. Until next Prime, thank you all so much for watching. I've been Blind Prime, and then my co-host is not here right now. He is off the table. Until next Prime, bye-bye for now.